Welcome to Living the Empowered Life channel. My name is Yvonne, and this channel is all about bringing you stuff that's empowering, encouraging and inspiring. On this channel I share lots of different things to do with personal development, book reviews, other things that I do to live the empowered life. And by the way, living the empowered life really is about being true to yourself. It is about finding solutions to challenges that you may be going through, and it's about living the best life you can. So if you want to live the empowered life, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can be notified of any new uploads. And if you like the content that I share, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. So in today's video, I want to talk to you about self-assessment and self-acceptance. I was thinking about this today because at the moment I'm reading a really fantastic book by somebody called John Nayland, and the book is called The Self-Worth Safari. And this book really has been a real eye-opener for me. As I mentioned on one of my other videos, he talks about the difference between self-esteem and self-worth. And before, I didn't know there was really a difference, but lo and behold, when I read this book, I'm learning that actually there is a huge difference between self-esteem and self-worth. And inspired by reading this book, I decided to do this video on self-assessment and self-acceptance. So what is self-assessment? And no, I'm not talking about filling in your self-employed tax return. Self-assessment is about how you analyze and look at yourself. So that could be, for instance, comparing yourself, looking at yourself in a negative light, and maybe deeming things about you to be totally unacceptable. In my experience of self-assessment, it is always done from a place of being a critique of oneself. It is not done from a place of elevating self. So that is what I mean when I say about self-assessment. Now, self-acceptance really is about embracing everything to do with you, the good, the bad, the ugly, embracing all your faults, all your mistakes, everything about you that's not perfect, and just accepting you. In his book, The Self-Worth Safari by John Nayland, and I am going to be doing a full review of this book once I've read it, but I just wanted to read to you just a small part of this book because it's in relation to self-acceptance. And John says, any approach to self-worth must therefore begin in the fertile soil of self-acceptance. This means accepting and loving yourself as you are right now, today. And in relation to self-worth, self-acceptance is the first part of that journey of valuing self. And to value self basically means giving yourself permission to be, saying to yourself, I am enough, and believing that you're enough, and that your worth is not based upon your job title, money, your status, where you are in life. Now, sometimes that can be very hard to accept, especially living in a world where self-worth is not really promoted. A lot of the time, self-esteem is promoted as the be-all and end-all. It is about connecting that confidence and that sense of achievement to what you've done. But at the end of the day, if you rely on self-esteem, it doesn't really last long because it's dependent upon outside performance. So my experiences with self-assessment and self-acceptance has been a bit of an up and down journey. My self-assessment journey has been a very, very long one. And as I mentioned earlier on in this video, it has not really been from a place that has allowed me to grow. It started off as believing that I was bad, believing that I was not good enough. But then it just continued on to other areas of my life as I got older. And even though I was able to deal with all the kind of issues that were left behind because of childhood trauma, what I did find is that I became somebody that connected my self-worth to my self-esteem. Unless I was achieving or doing amazing things, I wasn't really happy. And what happened is that with the self-assessment aspect, I was always critiquing myself all the time, thinking even when I did things okay, I could have done things better. Even when I was looking at myself, I thought, I needed to maybe lose more weight. And I know that I will be able to reach the weight that I want to reach, but doing it under that self-assessment critiquing mode is not going to get me there. And instead of doing that now, I've just accepted myself. I've accepted where I am right now on my weight journey. And then, you know, from there, I can then start to build upon that by putting in different things that are going to enable me to have a more healthier lifestyle. When I was doing my self-assessment of myself from that place of thinking that I was not good enough, you know, that nothing I did, you know, was really up to par, it just set me up to always be criticizing myself. I can tell you from all my years of doing self-assessment that it was totally exhausting. It made me unhappy. It left me feeling like, you know, wow, what can I do that is ever going to be good enough for me? And that's where self-acceptance comes in. Because rather than looking at myself and doing this kind of subconscious self-assessment that says, you know, I'm falling short, I have been able to, over the last few years, been able to look at myself in a totally different way. Instead of fighting myself, because that is what self-assessment does, it kind of sets you up in a fight with yourself. Self-acceptance has helped me to have like an inner peace. It's not always easy because sometimes I do revert back to that thing of that self-assessment. But what I do now is to catch myself when I'm doing it. Rather than slapping myself on the back of the hand and saying, oh, Yvonne, you could be doing better, I'm just trying to just be at a place where I'm just happy to be me and just standing in that power of knowing that I am good enough. Not based from other people's standards, not based from the world's standards, not based on other people's opinions, but just saying to myself, I accept me as I am. That is what I am doing on my own journey. Self-assessment has been like a 30-year journey just because of all the different battles and things I had. And my journey of self-acceptance really has been over the last probably 3 to 5 years. If you're asking me which one is better, which one is worth it, I would definitely say self-acceptance every single time. Self-acceptance, as I said, just brings a personal peace. The self-assessment side of things is awful. And if you're somebody who is struggling with always critiquing yourself, I just want to encourage you to start to accept yourself. Self-acceptance is something day by day that you can embrace. You know, there's no time frame on it. It might just start with one small thing about yourself, something that maybe you've rejected about yourself, and starting to accept that thing. You may not be happy with it, but you accept it for what it is because it's part of you. And it's from that place when you can do that, that is where, you know, you can start to do things better or improve on different things to do with you. As John mentioned, self-acceptance is a huge part of that journey of self-worth. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Tell me if you've struggled with self-assessment and also what it is you are going to start to do to accept yourself. So that is it for this video, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.